Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backmarkers M99 GRAFX ARCA series here at the Shark RC Bodies 125 at Atlanta. This race, of course, sponsored by Shark RC Bodies. It's where you can find all of your RC body needs for off-road buggies and short course trucks. The bodies range from drag racing bodies, street stocks, late models, and more. You can find them at sharkrcbodies.com. Big shout out to Nick's family. I'm, of course, your broadcaster, Rain Braun, here alongside with my broadcast colleague and Season 1 ARCA Series champion, Tyler Barnett. How's it going, Tyler?
Not too bad, man. How about you?
Doing quite all right. Just trying to get over some technical difficulties we're having here tonight.
Yeah, this whole weekend seemed to be a little fuzzy. It's always been the second race. I mean, think of Phoenix last season had an update beforehand, and then a couple of iRacing issues beforehand. But it's always been the second race. So we're gonna
Yes,
see how this
indeed.
goes tonight. And it's already getting off to a rough start. I mean, 3 setup changes in the span of what, 2 days?
Yep, that's not only that, they seem to just be progressively getting far looser for everybody. So no one's quite ready, knowing what to expect here.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. I ran some test laps and it seemed a little loose on exit, but as the run went on, it started to step out on you more. So this is going to be a long run game. It's going to be survival, and it's going to be an interesting one for sure, especially throwing everybody out to the wolves like the way we are right now.
Absolutely. Well, as I said, we're here at Atlanta. It's week 2, race number 2 in season 2 of our. There's a lot of twos there. Backmarkers M99 GRAFX ARCA series, presented by Shark RC Bodies here. And the track. We've had some different things show up here. The track is looks like 69 degrees is what's showing up here for me. 16% moisture. It's overcast. You've got a wind of 2 miles per hour. How many laps are we ended up running here tonight, Tyler?
We are doing 85 laps here tonight, which is going to be excruciating for these drivers because of the tire wear that this track produces.
Yes, indeed. Well, this is going to be a fun one for sure. Where are we at currently with qualifying? Are you able to tell?
So it looks like Jacob Bradley looking for his second pole of the season, and he's looking pretty dominant right now. I mean, up a couple 100s over Steve Loving, who was the fastest in practice overall. But we're going to see if he can hold it up there. Remember, 1 lap here does not equal fast long run speed.
Yeah, and it looks like not sure who all's still filing in or who's still running just yet. It looks like we have a couple haven't quite placed as of yet. Looking like Tanner Prater, Abraham Kalufa, and Sean Johnson, Mr. Moonpie, have not quite finished their qualifying yet. Of course, we changed up our qualifying format due to some time constraints we ran into last week. Tell us a little bit about that, Tyler.
Yeah, so last week we did a open qualifying format where we did it more realistic, where the fastest cars go last, the slowest cars go first, and it just added to the aesthetic of the race. But with how many people that we have gotten these last 2 weeks right now, I don't think that it's feasible that we're going to be able to do that for the rest of the season, especially with the 2 guys that I put in. I mean, I threw them to the wolves as well. It's going to be a handful for all of them. So we just changed it to lone qualifying, just 2 laps, 10 minutes, and basically just have at it, boys.
There we go. And just like that, we're looking at a huge startup right now. I mean, currently our point situation. Do you have the driver's points ahead of you? What are we currently looking at with the top 5 in points?
Well, obviously Logan Monteith, after capturing the win at Daytona, is going to be on the on that number 1 spot. But I mean, from here on out, it's going to be all driver's talent, and it doesn't surprise me to see him up there, even though it is Daytona. But from here on out, we're going to see where everybody starts stacking up.
All right, yeah, indeed. And it looks like might have some qualifying results here to take a look at. Let's take a look here. And there's our qualifying results. It looks like filing out. Our opening here, Mach 1 Racing once again taking that lead. Jacob Bradley with a pole. That guy is mad fast on a on a heater.
Yeah, definitely. I do wonder how it's going to fare in the long run, but otherwise,
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm listening in on the everybody right now.
absolutely. Just to keep going here for everybody at home tuning in, the rest of that qualifying grid: number 2, Steve Loving with Vintage Racing. Number 3, our Around Here Entertainment 150 at Daytona winner Logan Monteith, Evil Empire Motorsports. And we got Blake Hoppy in 4th, Peter Stewart 5th, Connor Moore 6th, Adam Boyle 7th, Jay Bast 8th, Michael Gudger 9th, and Carter Dyson rounding out that top 10. And we got some really strong contenders falling just outside that top 10 with Dustin Bally and how he led the most laps uh, back there at Daytona last week. Robert Brobst, of course, running at the front of that pack almost the entire race. And Austin Holbrook, we know what he's capable of from last season. This is his first race for this season. He had to miss last race. We're happy to have him in here. And so, I mean, we're looking at probably not. I mean, how many people did we have for last race? Was it 28, 29?
I think we had 26 take the green flag, so
Wow.
24 today. Oh no, we got everybody. It looks
It
like.
looks like.
Ooh.
And it looks like we are gridding up here. Potentially.
Actually, let's see how everything goes.
All right, and they're
I hear
gridding
everybody
up.
shifting into gear. So it looks like we're gonna have 3 miss the grid: Sean Johnson, Tanner Prater, and Abraham Kalufa, who did make it. He just made it. Tanner Prater made it. And all right, well, we have 27 gridded up today.
Yeah, they're all here.
Wow. This is a huge field, especially for this track. It's going to be super loose. It's going to be bouncy here too. That's going to be an underestimated factor, is how bouncy that these cars get down the back straightaway and the front straightaway, especially also into turn 3 and 4. There's a huge bump on the fence where this seems to be the fast line, is the fence. So it's going to be interesting to see how the tires wear from the bottom to the top, and seeing who takes what line and who's going to be fast early and who's going to be fast late in a run.
Absolutely. And once again, cannot reiterate, our starting front here is a phenomenal set of racers in this series. Of course, with the pole, again, Jacob Bradley coming in out of nowhere, starting his rookie series here. And then, of course, Steve Loving, a familiar face to us all here in Backmarkers. And Logan Monteith, again, probably one of the favorites for this season to win the championship overall, especially with his conquering of Daytona last week. And Blake Hoppy, who showed incredible speed and prowess at Daytona, as we round out here coming around for the green flag.
And we are green. Jacob Bradley gets a pretty solid start, is able to clear Steve Loving already off the bat. As we file into one, it's going to be Steve and Logan side by side. This is going to be where it gets really hairy. These cars are always loose on the entrance of corners at Atlanta here. There's a big old bump that just sets everybody's rear end on fire.
Absolutely, and it's always interesting. I love seeing these two Lowe's-inspired schemes running back to back here. Just shows that these are the mindsets of two champions.
Oh,
To
for sure.
be idolizing somebody like Jimmy Johnson in that capacity, to be running a scheme like that. They are clearly looking to take it home, and of course we cannot understate just how much the setup change has thrown everybody for a loop here, considering almost nobody's gotten enough time for practice. So, I mean, what kind of issues are they facing here? What has the changes to the car been over these past couple days?
So what everybody was saying is that the car was getting a little loose on the long runs, like I was saying earlier, but starting off it was very twitchy, which twitchy and loose are two separate things, very drastically different things. Because twitchy, the car is unpredictable in the center of the corner, at the exit of corners, and wherever else on track, but
Mm-hmm.
loose, you can kind of guess where it's going to end up, the rear end sticking out, right? So with twitchy, I'd rather have a loose car than twitchy, but with twitchy, it just makes this race so much more difficult. That's all you can really say, is just this track and these cars, as well as the setup changes, and having a twitchy car here is just difficult.
Absolutely, and we're already seeing some huge shakeups here. I mean, people are moving up and down tracks. It is quite an incredible feat we're facing here. Of course, we're having some minor issues with people's paints not displaying correctly, because Trading Paints decided, I don't know if it's an issue with the recent update, but it decided it did not want to correctly load everybody's textures in here today just yet, so apologies to all the drivers. I know some of them had some really cool new schemes they were really wanting to show off today, so hopefully, we can get that fixed up during broadcast here in the opening couple laps, so that they can show off the stuff they put in some hard work and effort and money into. And Steve Loving and Jacob Bradley
Yeah,
trade the
definitely. And
lead.
then, oh, we have a pass for the lead.
Yes, indeed. Steve Loving takes it pretty
I
easily.
I do think that Steve Loving was able to get that spot so easily because Jacob Bradley just decided to let him have it. It looks like those two Lowe's cars are running the bottom now, trying to save a little bit of tire, maybe the middle in 1 and 2. But they're trying to save a little bit of that right front tire and hoping that this long run comes into effect.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I mean, I can imagine this the long run game is going to be a pretty standard play. I imagine we're going to see a lot of people trying to go for the tire game, the long run game, for most of this race. You know, trying to save up on tires, save on fuel to make those important passes. I mean, like I said, you're pretty much an expert behind this car. I'd like to say. So seeing the different lines people are taking already so far, especially in this front, I mean, we got Steve kind of sticking to that middle line, diving into the low a little bit off an arc. Both Jacob and Logan taking the low line, and Peter Stewart riding the high line, all just within the top 4. I mean, what is the advantage here at this point, this early on the track, with the current situation with grip and the way these cars are a lot looser right now?
Well, that's a really good question. So with Steve running the middle, he's going to be saving a little bit more than Peter Stewart, who's in 4th right now, but ripping that top side. He's going to be saving a little more, but he's also going to be saving less than the 2 running the bottom side. So this tire model is very interesting, and it reminds me a lot of Auto Club last season. When I was leading at Auto Club, I was ripping the fence. I felt like Kyle Larson until Austin Holbrook came up and ran me down from 2 seconds, and I started running his line. So these cars, if you can upset that rear end, get the cars a little bit loose, and pretty much just have a controlled drift all the way off the corner, you're going to save that right front tremendously. In the long run, you are going to be a monster. So it looks like what Steve was doing at first
Oh,
was,
side
oh,
by
there's a little bit
side.
of contact. It
That
looked
is
like.
amazing to see. These two are getting
That was
really
great
rough already
racing.
here at lap 9, lap 10 rather, as we come around for the start finish line there, and they are side by side fighting it out.
Yeah, this is a great battle for the lead right here. Great battle for second too. It sounded like there's a wreck. There's a
Oh no,
caution.
it's the leaders, and Logan Monteith just gets out. Oh, there goes Jacob Bradley.
Wow.
Oh no.
What an unfortunate event for the leader, Steve Loving. He's going to have to come from the back now. He does have one faster pair, thankfully.
As does
But, wow.
yeah, I was just about to say Dade Grajewski ended up going into the pits. Unsure of what that reason was, but let's take a look back here real quick at this and see exactly what happened as they come around. We're looking at Jacob Bradley here, and it
Uh,
looks like he comes and Steve kind of moves up. That's
uh,
he gets into the wall. He gets pinched a little bit. He tries to get off the wall a little bit and just ends up getting right into the back of Steve. Tough to call on that one. What do you think?
I'm going to have to lean more towards, let's see. I'm going to look at that one more time just to make sure. Yeah, I'm going to lean more towards Jacob's fault, mainly for the fact that he was in the fence. Like,
Oh
Steve is
wow.
a very, very hard racer. He will get right on your door, but he will not touch you. Looks like here that
Blake Hoppy
the
got
50
taken out in this
saw.
too. Quite a lot.
Oh,
Yeah. Very
that's a
unfortunate.
pretty nasty wreck. That
But
is
yeah,
a nasty and unfortunate wreck.
please continue with your analysis of that caution, though. I mean, what are you looking? Is that just a kind of standard racing incident? Did Steve come up a little too high on that one?
Yeah, I'd say so. More of a racing incident, but I'd have to lean more towards Jacob's fault just due to the fact that he hit the wall, and it is so hard to pull these cars out of the fence because of the
Right.
way they are shaped that you are going to be hanging out there looking a little loose. And he just got a little too far out there, touched Steve's right rear and turned him into the fence. So no harm, but definitely a big foul with a bunch of people taken out. But that's good for Logan. I bet you Logan was had a little bit of release coming off his shoulders after that one because Peter was on his tail. But going back to the first analysis, running the top, it is faster right now, but your tires will be burning off. And here at Atlanta, these tires are probably already gone. So if they don't pit, imagine Logan's going to pull a pretty decent gap to Peter Stewart if he can hold that bottom line. If Peter keeps on running that top, he may give him a challenge for a lap or two, but other than that, he's going to drop right down to the bottom and kind of fade away.
All right, man. Awful situation there. If you want to pull in real quick while we're coming around one more time as everybody's choosing, maybe talk to Steve or Jacob, see what they're feeling about that incident.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll bring him in right now. Hey, Steve, you got us?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so unfortunate event right there, but you mind explaining your side to it?
Yeah, not ideal. We were running tight. We were staying pretty close, and on the exit, I don't know what it was. It just felt like the car got sucked up, and it got really, really tight. I tried to pull off of it, lifted off the gas, and it was just enough to get clipped.
From our angle too, it looked like the 50 car was in the fence a little bit, drug that right rear, and it's very, very difficult to pull these cars out of the wall. So it looked like he tried to do that, kind of got into your right rear as you kind of slid up the track. So how you thinking about getting through this field right now, coming from the back, especially here at Atlanta where tires just get destroyed?
Not going to rush it. It's going to be very smooth and very delicate, and hope for the best. My get out of jail free card's gone.
Well, Steve, good luck. We're gonna get you back into your chat. So good luck once again, and sorry that happened to you.
Hey, no problem. Thanks a lot.
Man, unfortunate events for Steve. He was definitely a favorite coming into here.
Yeah, heartbreaking start, especially how good he was running there. But as he was saying, it's I guess it does come with the territory at times, especially with any kind of speedway racing, really.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
It looks like we got maybe the caution was delayed. The pace was delayed another lap here, maybe? I feel like they chose last lap. A couple of interesting shakeups here.
I wonder if somebody just got held up.
That might have been it. Yeah, just trying to, I imagine maybe with some of the guys that got caught up in that, just trying to let them go ahead and get back, into line since we're pretty early here, keep it kind of competitive. Guys like Steve, Blake, even Jacob, regardless of accidents, they're going to be top runners all night, so it'd be better to see them in the race than sitting out of it.
That is for sure. I do think it's going to be a possible couple quick cautions here, just because everyone's going to see that the first run went green, so they're going to try and get as much territory as they can. So I could definitely see one or two more quick cautions, but I'm hoping not.
Yeah, and like I said, some interesting shakeups here. Logan Monteith, as we're coming around, and obviously taking the bottom line, and Peter Stewart taking the top to advance himself to second. Connor Morse in the Budweiser scheme. Running into third, with Dustin Bawley moving up into fourth as we come around and take the green here at lap 15.
It looks like the 55 did not get a very good start. He is dropping back, and it looks like he's holding up a couple people behind him, but look at that front four kind of break away a little bit. Logan Monteith, a couple car lengths on Connor, but wow.
Nope. All right. You always get a little bit nervous when you see these cars. I mean, especially when you hear the drivers talking, man, it's so loose, it's hard to control, I end up in the wall. So when you see somebody drifting up the track a little bit, all you can think is, what's about to happen?
I agree, and let's watch this battle for the lead right here. Connor Morse is very, very aggressive. He's a younger kid. I don't know his age off the top of my head, but he is super young.
13.
Wow, and he's taking the fight to Logan right now. Like I said, these cars are faster on the top right now, but long run is not going to suffice. So Logan, you're going to see him here. He's going to dive to the bottom. And he's not going to fight. He is not going to let his intrusive thoughts get to him and try and battle for that lead and run on the top. He's going to wait for Connor to come back to him and hope no caution comes out.
And an interesting side note here for the current situation unfolding with the iRacing update. I think it has affected cameras at this point. Man, Connor really rode it close to that wall to take first, really tight there. That was really impressive as he slung it around the track.
He is definitely a little wheelman. I will give him that much. He just took the fight to Logan, and obviously Logan's trying to save those tires right now. But man, not a lot of people can do that. Take the fight to Logan and just pass him like nothing.
If he doesn't relax it here and start saving up on those tires, it's going to come back to bite him, because Logan is going to come right back around for that pass. Dustin Bally is following right in Logan's footsteps. He knows just how good Logan is, as he was, you know, racing with him last week and fighting, contending for that, you know, the race win for the season opener until that last lap right out of turn 1. Just unfortunate incident took out the whole field. Thankfully spared Logan Monteith so he could avenge the preseason Thunder accident that caused him to lose there.
Yeah, and look at it now. Logan right back up to second, passing Peter Stewart, who tried to send it on him.
Yeah,
and he's passing Connor Morse right now.
Really
he's passing Connor Morse right now.
Yeah. He'll probably get him
Oh.
within the next 2 laps if I had to guess. Connor throwing some, I don't know if that was a block or what exactly he was throwing there, but it was, I mean, every little thing he's doing right now is going to end up taking tire wear. So I don't foresee the 99 not being in the lead position, you know, for much longer.
Definitely, and you can see Peter trying to run that high start, trying to get around Logan, but Logan just being very, very patient. It's very impressive how patient he is being right now, because imagine 2 cars are coming for the lead right now, and you just have to accept it, drop to third, and just keep on managing your tires. Peter's trying to lead a couple laps, it looks like, maybe get some bonus points, because he is following right in those footsteps of that 56.
Yeah, it looks like he's waiting for some tires to die out there, and maybe make his move, get those oh so precious and important bonus points that everybody needs here. I mean, the pole has been locked up by the same guy for the last 2 races, which is unbelievably impressive in Jacob Bradley's you know, ability to run qualifying. But you know, are we going to see a situation where we have the same winner? We very well could. Logan Monteith, he can end up being in the back for the first 30 laps of a race and end up fighting for the lead, sending it 3 wide when you're least expecting it in the last 10 laps.
Hey, I mean, he's playing his cards perfect right now. He is still running that bottom. He's staying very disciplined. Meanwhile, these guys up front, they're going to be burning that tire off like no other. You can see the 91 getting a little sideways, but also getting a little tight beforehand.
Brady
So that's
Powers
burning the right front and the right rear.
Brady Powers dropping down. He looks like he wants that low line. He's seeing what it's been doing for Logan Monteith, or maybe he's just thinking, man, you know, saving those tires, it's really going to help me. The 91 can't really take it to him. This is probably going to be a pretty clean pass here in just a moment.
Yeah, by far. That 55, he started learning what Logan was doing and started running a little bit lower, and you can tell it's working better in 3 and 4 than it is in 1 and 2 right now as the 55 thinks about sliding up. 91's going to try and cross over. He looks to the inside. The 55 blocks a little bit.
Whoa, almost accident there in the back pack. Hard to say what happened there. Looks like Tyler DeTalon almost got in the back of Mr. Moonpie, almost took him out, but managed to get down below the track here. Just to get out of the way. Could have been a bad move there. It took out that entire section, but thankfully we got some guys who were pretty quick on their feet trying to, you know, make big moves. And Connor Morse, again, can't, you know, can't let out here.
Oh, 55 into the fence.
Oh, no, Logan Monteith's been turned. Oh, and Peter Stewart. Adam Boyles. And Steve Loving again caught up.
Same incident, just different people, unfortunately. Wow, that is unfortunate.
What exactly happened here?
I'm going to go look back at that right now.
Where did
so
this
it looks
all
like
start?
The 55 car of Brady Powers, he gets into the fence, and the 91 panics a little bit, drops low, and he just turns Logan. Just turns Logan. That's a definite, just unfortunate event.
Oh, yeah. There, oh, when you try to take a look here as we slow it down. And just plowing up behind, and a lot of people caught up in this. Adam Boyles, thankfully, wasn't involved in the first, but taking a look and seeing Steve Loving eat something on that from the wall and also from the front. And the people that managed to squeak through this, it's not a lot. Oh, Logan getting absolutely shot right from the rear there by the 58 car as well. Just an unfortunate.
It does look like we have some hitters on pit road right now, though. But we also have one non-taker of Brady Powers. The car that got into the fence is not going down pit road for any damage repair or anything. So this is going to be pretty interesting. He's going to get eaten up alive on those new tires.
Yes, indeed. It looks like pretty much everybody's going in for a pit.
Yeah.
You know, taking this opportunity ahead here as Dustin Bally comes riding off pit lane here, looking to catch some positions. He's followed by, his teammates entirely. It's Dustin Bally, Jay Bast, and Austin Holbrook, all filing off a pit road, one after the other, off the wall racing, followed, of course, by Robert Brobst. Oh, man.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty nasty for Brady, I think. These tires, especially 26 laps old, he is not going to have a good time. So it looks like his last green flag lap was a 31.966, meaning that these guys on new tires are probably going to be running a 31 flat. So he's going to be almost a second slower on these new tires, or on these old tires compared to the new tires.
And we got some people, some cars. Looks like potentially some lapped cars up here in the field. No, that's just the layout. Okay. No, we do.
Wow.
The number 9 car, Nathan Gentry, is up there. But yeah, our way we're shaking it out right now, Brady Powers, coming up here, being in the pole for this, followed by the pole sitter, Jacob Bradley. Then of course followed by Mr. Excitement, Damian Marquez.
Yes, sir. Well, what do you say that we get the leader right now, the one that did not take tires up into the booth?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Brady Powers coming in. Hey, Brady, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Well, no tires. Seems like a pretty dangerous call. What was going through your mind?
Oh, well, I got my teammate right behind me, and he got involved in a wreck early on, so I think me and him are just going to try to save these tires as long as possible. And we didn't need to come in for gas yet. Pit window isn't open yet, so we're just going to try to stay out, see how long I can stay in front of these guys. Hopefully get a caution around 35-40.
Awesome. I mean, that's pretty well thought out, it
like a
seems
plan.
like. Oh, yeah, we're up here in the booth thinking, man, this is going to be kind of scary, I feel like. But you're not afraid of those new tires just yet?
Not yet. We had a hard race last night where it was all tire wear, so I'm kind of used to it right now, so.
There you go.
All right, well, we're going to give you back to your teammate right over here. Good luck, and it's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
Thank you, sir.
Interesting.
Again,
That is a very, very interesting call. I think it's a dangerous call, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think so as well. I mean, as long as he gets a good restart here, he'll just get kind of naturally past. I definitely, worry because you see guys here falling in behind them. People like, people like Connor Morse all the way back up here, Dustin Bally, Austin Holbrook, Jay Bass, Sean Johnson, Robert Brobst, Jackson Samsel. They're all right here in this conglomerate that is going to end up eating it if something happens to him. So as he sits there and warms up his tires a little bit, maybe shaking a little debris loose there, and is definitely, it's an interesting call. I don't think it's quite Indianapolis last season. Interesting as a call. A shout out to the Charles checkup with Mr. Charles Broderick in the number 16
Charles
car.
checkup. I like it. But here we go. We're getting bunched up right now. Watch this 2 in this 56. Remember, Connor is super aggressive, and I think the 2 is on older tires. So this is going to be very, very scary for everybody.
Yes, indeed.
And we are green. The 2 does not get a good.
Oh,
I told you, 2 did not get a good start.
Everybody who ran that outside
line. Oh, he turns him.
Oh no!
And
Just
that's
like
where that caution breeds caution that I told you.
And it's taking everybody out. And there it is. That is just not a great sight.
No, definitely not. We're going to go back and look at that, and if that 56 did turn the 2, I do think that warrants a penalty. But
let's take a look.
No,
I went way too
the
far
2
back
just
here.
lost it by himself. Looks like Damien just had a little bit of pressure from behind, and he just lost it by himself.
As we try to get in here. Yeah. Bit of a checkup here. We're focusing on the wrong car, I suppose. He did not get quite enough of a restart, and it ends up pushing Connor Morse, trying to, Connor Morse gives him a lot of space, actually. So does Austin Holbrook, everybody trying to get out of the way of that one. And he just turns up track. I don't know if that's net code or what that is. Jay Bass, unfortunately, catch him in the rear. Thankfully, that's probably going to be fast repair. He won't be too unsettled, but I'm sure, probably liked being up there with his teammates a good bit. But unfortunately, too many more people caught in this wreck. Michael Gudger, Brian Brobst, and Tyler DeTalon as well getting caught up. And the 38 car of Clifton
Huge accident.
Simmons, Nathan Gentry, everybody just eating it. The
Well-
pace car almost eating it as well.
Well, what do you say? Is that as bad as the first incident?
No, I think it's unfortunate, but I don't think it was a field killer.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. But then, man, that was scary. I saw that car turn right, and I totally thought that the 56 got into him just by the way it looked. Like, it looked so unnatural the way he turned to the right.
Yeah, it's got to have been a netcode issue. He's been blinking all throughout practice. I saw him, so he probably was a lot closer to Connor Morse than Connor Morse or any of us saw him. And iRacing just interpreted that as a very friendly tap. But as we could see, Connor Morse gave him plenty of space. So yeah, I don't think a penalty probably is in warrant here in any way.
Definitely
I think
not.
everybody tried to do what they could to avoid it, but I mean,
That just adds to Steve's pain, though. I mean, look at him sitting on pit road, 4 laps down. It's a very, very slim shot that he gets back up there, let alone up inside that top 10.
anybody you want to talk to before we come around to go to this green flag? I mean, we got plenty of people we could pull in here.
I think we should bring in Jackson, in all honesty. I mean,
Yeah.
he avoided quite a few wrecks after being the first 2 at Daytona. So
Not a bad
let's go
idea.
get him up in the booth.
Let's bring up Jackson Samsel, number 57.
Oop, hold on. All right, we got him. Hey, Jackson, you got us? Jackson, you got us? He don't got us. Well, gonna return him to where he belongs. And anyone you want to talk to?
Well, I think, I mean, this is a good opportunity. We could either pull for Steve Loving once again here, or Jay Bast even. Those guys are sitting, looks like, on pit road right now, just taking repairs.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's get Jay up in here. Hey, Jay, you got us?
Yep, I hear you.
Hey, unfortunate events. You were running up front, looked like most of the night from what we've seen, but just a couple of unfortunate events. What happened?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We went for the restart, and next thing I knew, the 02 was just perpendicular to the track. So, and
Yeah.
at that point, I was just a passenger. So, you know, what can you do? I took my tow. We're just getting back out on the track now, and we'll see if we can get enough cautions late in the race to come back.
Yeah, definitely,
that's
man.
a great way to look
Definitely
at it, yeah.
unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate for
Absolutely.
you. If it makes you feel any better that we have been noticing you and you have been up there inside the top 5 and you're impressing us. You're impressing me at least.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I did a lot of practice for this week. This all the setup changes and temperature changes and stuff was a little sketchy, but we're doing pretty well in the race.
I'd say so. I mean, we got a lot of green flag laps in. Just hopefully that we can keep that going, but I'll give you back to your team. So good luck on the rest of the race. Hopefully you can get back up there, man.
Thanks, man.
Great job, Jay. Take it home.
Thanks.
All right.
And
Well,
look at this.
we got them all
already.
lined up.
Shaking it out again. An interesting lineup we have here coming in already as we take a look. I mean, we got Jacob Bradley and Brady Powers, Mach 1 Racing, both sitting 1 and 2, and followed by Dustin Bawley and Ed Sals. Then very closely followed by Austin Holbrook and Connor Morse. Connor Morse just, you can tell he's itching to get behind, get on Dustin there. He wants to move with him, but if Connor's got you know, as much of that driver sense as he's been showing us, he's gonna know that that's the kind of guy you want to be running behind right now in this instance. And Logan Monteith already back up to the top as we come around to this green flag after the third caution on lap 34 of the Shark RC 125.
A good start for the 55 and the 50. The two teammates getting off really, really well. But they're going to be side by side going into the corner. Now it's going to be a power struggle, I feel like, coming off the corner.
I think Mach 1 has shown us that they are willing to do anything so far in just a preseason. Oh, and there's a wreck in the back.
Oh, another one.
What has happened back here? Nick Seraph, Carter Dyson, yeah, and Dade Grajewski just gets clipped. Dade just got out of the pits. And And that's not going to be
Unfortunate.
a yellow. It was contained to the back of the field. Fortunately, it's unfortunate for everybody involved, but let's go take a look back real quick at that wreck, see exactly what happened. Nick Seraph gets up, and Charles has to check up. It looks like Blake Hoppy ends up getting in front of Charles Broderick a little bit, makes him check up a little. No, it wasn't. Was not Blake Hoppy. It was Brian Brobst, actually, and that ends up making Nick Seraph check up just a little too much. Just unfortunate circumstance there.
We are 3 wide for second right now as the 50 gets swallowed up by Austin and the 56 of Connor Moore. Oh, the 81 into the wall.
Wow,
He gets
and
in the
look at
wall at
Austin
entry.
Holbrook's speed.
Where did he come from? Last season he was great at Auto Club, which this track reminds me a lot of.
Yes.
And I see him rummaging to the front right now.
Look
This
at
is
him
incredible.
coming in for the low pass. He's already got an advantage on that. Austin Holbrook taking it for the lead. Wow, what
And
an
he
impressive
clears it
jump.
off the corner.
Connor Morse not giving Brady Powers any chance either to come down. Connor Morse also wants it. There's a huge dogfight going on here. Connor Morse with that low line as well. Wow, these front three are just way out in front of everybody. There was an absolute shot of something coming out of that 12 car, sending him all the way up here with the rest of them.
This is going to be interesting how this all gets set up, because that 56 just takes that middle line, drops it down to the bottom. We're going to see that better run coming off of 4, but that 12 car just looks dialed in right now.
An amazing display here, and unfortunately I'm trying to take a look here at the cars that have really been impacted by the accidents so far that have occurred. It looks like we have a couple of cars that are sitting a lap down here. You can confirm which ones those end up being here. It looks like Adam Boyles, Peter Stewart, Nathan Gentry, Damian Marquez, Nick Seraph, Jay Bast, Carter Dyson, Steve Loving, and Dave Grajewski all kind of pushed to the back here, varying laps down.
Those are 2 big championship contenders as well. That's going to most likely cost one of their throwout races.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is huge implications, especially so early on. But let's go back to that battle for the lead right now.
Yep, just
Austin is
watching it
holding
here.
strong.
Austin has an incredible line here. You know, we were talking earlier in our team chat for Off the Wall Racing as they approach a lap car here towards the back of the field. He was talking a lot about the new setup and just kind of talking about his numbers and what he was running in a few practice laps. He said that, you know, in the lead up to this race, he was running as many practice laps as he could before the session opened and everybody ended up joining in. So you know that he was just trying to get himself as warmed up as possible, especially with missing Daytona last week and really needing that opportunity, as we're 3 wide for third as well.
They are wasting no time.
They see the laps remaining. I mean, we're
get there.
shortly around almost halfway there, and it's Logan Monteith and Dustin Bally. This is a familiar sight. Seeing these two battling it out.
I wonder if they're going to be able to get up to those first 2, though, especially with the time running out. Everybody still needs fuel, mind you.
This is interesting to see Logan falling in behind Dustin. Dustin stays up on that high line. Now he comes down a little bit. He probably saw Logan in his mirror and said, no, I think I want to stay with you. I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys hook up to try to move themselves up to the front of the pack here, where Austin Holbrook has just absolutely run away with it right now. I mean, him and Connor Morris have put distance between the next set of cars.
Yeah, I wonder if these 2 behind them are either trying to fight or save some tires. But man, that 12 car is getting so close to the wall on entry. But it looks like Connor just had to rally again, try to cool those tires off for a lap or 2, and he's right back on his bumper, man. This is going to be a fun battle for the lead.
It's an amazing 2-second gap. Almost 2.5
Connor to the
seconds.
inside.
It looks like Austin not, holding down on that lower line. They get a little close. You never want to beat that on that high side when you're in a situation like that, because you know you're going to get pinched to the wall. And if you're pinched in the wall, like you said, it's really hard to get that car out of the wall. As Austin Holbrook looks like he's coming up on the back here of his teammate Charles Broderick, if I'm not mistaken, from the looks of the car.
No, that's Dade.
No, it is Dade. Oh, okay. Yes, it is. Dade Grajewski.
Dade in that nice 6 Holdovers car.
Yes, indeed. I seem to have some kind of issue with sim stamp numbers overlaying over everybody's paints, so that's got to be some kind of issue with the the new update, but it's not everybody's for some reason. Some people are showing up just fine. Maybe it's an issue with trading paint syncing with the way they changed up the schemes. Oh, Connor!
Oh,
Tastes the
Connor!
wall. He gets a little bit of a taste of the wall. He's still holding it in there. It's going to slow him down a good bit, but, you know, this might be the time for him to consider just conserving and riding behind Austin. I mean, you do not want to end up this 2-second gap behind where Dustin Bally is, because who knows when you're going to get the chance to catch Austin. Is it going to be during a caution? Is it going to be during just a green flag pit stop? Will that be the only chances they have? We just don't know.
Definitely not, and there is a decent amount of damage to that 56 car. If you look at that right side, you could see the even the right rear bumper is messed up a little bit, so aerodynamics is going to hinder him a little bit down the straightaway. Last lap was a half-second gap, and he's going to gain a 10th on them, but with what cost? Of the tires, right? He's running that fence again.
He's going to be real tight to it again. I wouldn't be surprised. He might taste it just a little bit as well. No, he manages to hold it off. That's the impressive control we see with Connor Morse here. He has an incredible handle on a car. I mean, just he's crazy fast, and he can steer it out of any situation, it seems like, at this point. So, I mean, this might be an underdog for contention here. I mean, if he continues running up in the front pack and managing to stay out of trouble, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him really taking a contendership, at least to be looking at a podium even.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's impressed me by far tonight. I've always known that he has had good car control, but this has been really, really a big show. I mean, the way he passed Logan, the way he was able to hold on to the lead for a while, but Austin's giving him a fight, man, and I'm very, very proud of Austin. Last season, I don't think he got the recognition that he deserved. He was up inside the top 5 quite a bit, challenged me for the lead at Auto Club in the first race, so there has to be something said about that. I mean, he's a wheelman, and I'm very, very impressed with how he just stormed up to the lead and kind of ran away with his sense.
Absolutely. Austin Holbrook, I believe, just found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot of times, getting caught up in accidents he had no part in being anywhere near. Just unfortunate situations that ended up taking him out, unfortunately, a lot like we're seeing with Steve Loving in this race. Just, you know, any little thing can end up, you know, taking somebody's race and just completely ruining it. And that unfortunately happened for Austin quite a few times. Let's take a look back.
Well,
here
look
at
at back at
these
the gaps. Look at back at the gaps, though. It looks like Logan's kind of just tucked behind that 21.
Yep.
And they're kind of reeling him in a little bit. It was 2.1 seconds a couple laps ago. It's down to 1.7 flat. So let's see the distance between first and third coming to the line here.
It's interesting. I imagine Dustin's not too upset with the idea of Logan probably getting ahead of him, just on account of the fact that it's an opportunity to just ride behind a guy that he's pretty comfortable riding with. So, I mean, he's probably just trying to see how far he can get up ahead. I mean, Dustin has very, very quickly closed some distance here between himself and Connor Morse. And Connor Morse is not much of a different gap than he was to Austin Holbrook before he started eating the wall. So, I mean...
No, that last lap was almost a 10th. We're going to see it again. Ooh, Austin didn't catch Steve at a very good time. Had to kind of pinch off his exit a little bit. But down to 1.5 now.
Steve taking that high line, getting out of everybody's way. It's not a very common thing we see with Steve Lovin, having to get out of everybody's way to let him through, but unfortunately tonight just wasn't his night, it seems.
No, unfortunately not. I was very, very excited to see where he stacked up tonight, but just some bad luck. I mean, racing has its ups and downs, and this is definitely a down for him.
I mean, everybody involved in these past wrecks. Adam Boyles being a lap down, Peter Stewart, Nathan Gentry, you know, Jay Bast, all guys getting caught up in situations, just getting hit by cars that they could not avoid flying across the track. There's not a lot of space to move here. Oh, Connor Morse diving real low. What happened there?
Oh, no.
Something
Did the
is
12 touch
wrong
the
with
fence
12.
on exit? Let's see. He did. The 12 got into the fence really, really bad on exit. Connor diving down to the bottom of the track, passing him.
Connor
Man.
looking for those most laps led bonus points, but I don't think Austin's interested in letting him just have it for free. He's supported by his teammate Dustin Bally back here, so, and I mean, there's no impact driver up here to help support Connor Morse, so, I mean, we're looking at Impact, Off the Wall Racing, Evil Empire Motorsports up here in this top 4, and then it is a 3-second gap back to Robert Gross. So, I mean, there's a good chance we're going to see some people working together real well to try to see what they move to the front. And, I mean, I'm sure you can vouch, not only Austin Holbrook, but you can imagine the hunger that is stirring inside of somebody like, you know, Dustin Bally, and especially Logan Montes, who was leading for a good portion earlier.
Yeah, 100%. The 56 goes for a little bit of a block. Connor taking that lower line away from the 12, so he did not have any more air going any further. He wanted to dive it to the bottom, the 12 did, but just got that lane chopped from him, so he's going to have to try and force
comes
it
in real close
onto
behind
the
him.
spot oval. Here comes the 21, though. He's looking to the inside. He is there.
And I'm sure that was
Dustin.
a call out because Austin stays real high for it. He's going to file in right behind Connor Morse here. I'm sure there's a strategy going on in that team chat right now. Files right in front. Oh, Logan just gets a little too close for my liking, running up on that 12 car. The
This
21
has been an
dropping back
insane
down.
battle for the lead.
What's so impressive is it's a 4-car battle at this point. You know, we saw a lot of changes at Daytona, but that's Daytona. You know, for a speedway, you usually see a good bit of dominance with some pit strategy, not 4 ultra-competitive cars all absolutely racing their hearts out at each other. Dustin really following in close here. Let's get a look at that roof cam. See how close
He's on the bumper.
following.
He touches him.
He's going up past him.
There was a
He's
bump
going
there.
for
The
the
56
pass.
got a little upset. The 21 car on the bottom line, though, the 99 following suit. Man,
Everyone following,
what a
waving him
bump
up
run.
top.
I'm surprised that the 56 held on to that. Connor has great car control, man. He got nudged on exit where the car is one of the most loosest parts of the track. Whew, that was a scary moment for me.
There are definitely guys in this race who will admit that in that situation, that would have been it for all 4 cars if they were in that situation. So, Logan jumping up to support Connor a little bit. Oh, that's a little interesting. Maybe he just decided that high line looked a little good, or maybe he had a little buyer's remorse and decided to drop back down to that low line. Oh, no, he's going straight for the pass, and he's going to keep going.
Yeah, he's going.
He wants Dustin Bally, too, but, I mean, he's got a pretty good firm grip on that low line.
There. He's there. The 99 is there, and he washes up the track just a little bit. It's going to be if he can put that power down on exit here. That 21 car just so strong in that middle lane. The 56 trying to block the 12 one more time. Just trying to hold on to that podium spot, especially this late in the race. And remember, they still need fuel.
Absolutely, and you can imagine Dustin Bally, he does not want to see that 99 car pass him in the relative, as it looks like he's doing right now, because once he does, it's going to be a tough job to get back by him.
That is for sure. So let's go back to this battle for 10th. So 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, it looks like, are all nose to tail. It's like the battle for the lead right now, but for 10th.
Absolutely, and this is such an important thing to note, is that, you know, everybody always, you know, of course we're focused on leaders a lot, but there's a lot of stuff that starts happening in these back-of-the-pack, mid-pack ranges, and these are all game-changing things that are happening. You know, every little position counts, and getting that top 10 is oh so important, because every top 10 you can notch is just helping your team and helping yourself get closer and closer and closer, and edging other people out. Jackson Samsel dropping back. Oof. Almost gets caught by Jacob Bradley there, trying to, I don't know what happened, but maybe just had to check up a little bit, felt himself sliding. Blake Hoppy going for the pass on Michael Gudger, as they're all trying to come around. That 91 car, Peter Stewart, out of place here in the pack currently. Nathan Gentry takes the wall. I imagine he might have just been trying to stay out of it. Oh, he eats the wall entirely. Nathan Gentry just completely sends his right front right into the wall. I can imagine he's probably just having some car control issues tonight. I mean, I can imagine what this chat sounds like for everybody. So this is probably a situation where he's about to dive off and have to take a pit, and there he goes.
It's unfortunate for Nathan. I mean, he's just been having a rough go, it seems like, but I do expect him to improve throughout the season, and I expect him to be up inside that, at least top 15. It wouldn't surprise me at all, but let's go back to this battle for the lead. Logan just pounding his back bumper right now. 2 tenths behind him, if I'm rounding up, but He hasn't very much been further than that.
No, and it looks like, Connor Morse and Austin Holbrook ended up dropping back a little bit together in a battle for third. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised here. It wouldn't be bad strategy for those two, knowing they're both bad fast and five seconds ahead of the Brobst boys, to just try to work together somewhat to stay up here so that they don't end up getting left out. But of course, that competitive spirit, it's just going to end up. They are really fighting it out back there, it turns out. Oh no!
Oh no!
And Austin Holbrook turned into the wall.
Oh no. What an unfortunate event. That is definitely, I'd say that's on the 56. It looks like that 56 car just turns down a little bit too far.
Let's see what happened here. That's just never the kind of thing we want to end up seeing here.
No,
Let's head to the
definitely
blimp.
not. Well,
Yeah.
what do you say we get your boy in here?
Let's talk to him. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, I'm getting Austin in right now. Oh, just kidding. Having some difficult. Ah. Alright, Austin, it's us up in the booth. You got us?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
sir.
unfortunately, we saw what happened, and give us your take on it.
I think he was running a little hard for where we're at in the race. Kept trying to pass him cleanly, and then I get next to him, and he hooks me in the right rear. Car was toast, so we'll see where we restart now. Probably further than we'd
Unfortunate.
like.
Definitely unfortunate, but otherwise, you had a great run going, led quite a few laps, and went up there, charged, took the lead. Very impressive run. I mean, I don't really expect much out of, or anything different out of you. I mean, I know that you have a, you are a wheel man, so very impressed though, nonetheless, and hopefully you can get right back up there, man.
Appreciate it. We're gonna see what we can accomplish here.
Sounds good. I'll drop you back to your boys. Thank
Thanks,
you for
buddy.
talking with us. That is just so unfortunate.
Yes, indeed. I want to say to you, Tyler, it's only been 2 broadcasts we've done, and this is being the 3rd one. Of course, we're talking the preseason Thunder, which apparently has lost to time. Thank you very much, YouTube. But I think with the way things are shaking out as we're trying to find our roles, you have a very, very firm grasp on interviews.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Speaking of interviews, let's get one more in here. Let's get the other Tyler in here.
Absolutely.
I know he's been itching all weekend. He's been bugging me, and here we have him now, Mr. Tyler DeTalent. How are you, my guy?
I'm scared.
Man, all this talk, you're telling me, you're like, come on, bring me in the booth, bring me in the booth. What do you got for us?
Dude, it is slick out here.
Well, I mean, you're impressing us tonight. You're running inside the top 10. You looked really, really strong. What's your strategy for the rest of the race now?
I still have my fast repair, so I'm kind of banking on that because it's been crazy. But I'm really just trying to bide my time and pounce whenever the time's right. But try to run that Larson line when I can.
I like it, my guy. I mean, Homestead, you were doing it. Let's see if you could do it again, right?
Oh yeah, top 10's the goal. But obviously winning a race would be spectacular.
Well, where's your end goal for the night? I know you just said top 10, but where are you really shooting for other than a win?
I want to cross the finish line running. I don't want to be sitting in the pits. I don't want to be on the hook. I want to cross the finish line. That's that's a big deal.
Well, man, I think we can deem you as the Backmarkers Racing League Clint Boyer. You are a hoot, and we are going to have you in the booth way, way more, brother. So I'll bring you back to your boys, and good luck.
All right, thanks guys.
Man, what a character. Him and I talk quite a bit. He's part of Evil Empire Sim Sport, a team I'm a part of, and him and I have been talking pretty consistently for probably like 7-8 months now, and he's a cool guy.
For the audience at home, Evil Empire Sim Sport, a totally different situation, organization than the team headed by Logan Monteith here at Evil Empire Motorsports, which is more kind of like an offshoot that he's done on his own. So, but yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about, you know, the run-in you've had with a lot of these guys. I mean, you have very established relationships with quite a few. I mean, it's how you end up knowing, you know, a lot of their driving style, what they're capable of. I mean, what exactly to, you know, an iRacing novice, how do you end up finding people like this?
Well, just racing around. I mean, you find leagues like this. I didn't know many of these people like Sean, Robert, Michael, Clifton, Austin, etc. The list can go on until season 1 of ARCA, where they earned my trust and they made me laugh a couple times. And by then, we just all became friends, and I became the meme. And as we have the drop of the green flag, no, just kidding. The 21 car teased me. All right, we are green now,
Whoa,
though.
he blinks a little bit. And now the fight continues, but Logan Monteith has that advantage line. I mean, Dustin's strong no matter where he's at, but Logan has been running that bottom line like a monster all night. So, yeah, just a matter of time.
What is smart?
Pulling the smart move here, just fall in line, ride with him.
But yeah, going back to it, you just got to make some friends, find some people online, whether it's officials, and find a good league that you feel like you're a part of and feel like you have a good connection with. Because I feel like all these guys here, we can all just joke around with them whenever. Nobody takes anything too difficultly.
Absolutely.
And everyone here is just here for a good time.
And as we say here with our leader, Logan Monteith, running it at the front, running the M99 GRAFX car, our series sponsor, and of course our sponsor for the race today.
Oh, the 14! Huge save!
Saves it. Thankfully, as I'm going into a sponsor read.
Save! That was impressive. Wow, look who's up back into second, though. That is Connor Morse. Looks like he got a little faster pair, or at least some damage fixed, and he is right back on him. He's going to be ripping that high side.
No, sir. You may have turned my teammate, but you will not be doing any such thing to me today. So we'll see how hard Dustin rides him here. Mr. Moonkite getting a little wiggly there. But as I was saying, with 16 to go, of course, this race is Shark RC 125 here at Atlanta, brought to you by Shark RC Bodies. It's where you can find all of your RC body needs for off-road buggies and short-course trucks. The bodies range from drag racing bodies, street stocks, late models, and more. You can find them at sharkrcbodies.com. Shout out to Nick's family. This is a huge sponsor for us, sponsoring 2 different races, huge supporter of Backmarkers. And we have a caution spinning out here somewhere. Looks like Adam Boyle's somehow involved.
That's unfortunate. I mean, he's just been having a rough night overall. That is very, very unfortunate.
What do you think the over-under was that this race was going to have more cautions than Daytona at this point?
I was going to go under. I mean, it was going to be close in my opinion, because I do know that this track is extremely difficult. But I do trust these guys, and I don't think we're going to see too many more, knock on wood.
And it looks like what that issue was is Charles Broderick came up a little too high. Charles, he was feeling real comfortable. He found a really nice pace. We were talking before in the setup that was the original setup for the car. And then, of course, you know, a lot of these guys, they end up having to work pretty regularly. And his job ends up conflicting with a lot of his evenings. So he put a lot of time into practicing over this weekend, getting used to it. And then 2 updates later to the car, and he was just really worried about how he was going to fare tonight. And it looks like that was an incident that, you know, these guys, Adam was already having a bad night. He's just trying to get good position. And Charles, I believe, was on the lead lap still at that point. So, but yeah, ended up affecting both guys there. Looks like Charles came up a little too high.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I mean, he hasn't ran bad tonight. He was up inside the top 15 for quite a bit. But, I mean, that practice is definitely paying off, and I'm very, very happy to see that for him. He's a great character. Outside of the car, he's awesome, and inside the car, he's super fun to be around. So, yeah, hopefully he'll...
talk to him real quick. Let's give everybody a taste of Charles Broderick. We haven't had the chance to talk to him yet.
You know what? That is a great idea, sir. I will bring him in right now. Mr. Charles, you got us?
Yup.
How you doing, man? How's it out there?
Oh, you know, it's great. At least I had my fast this time around.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I mean, you've been running pretty solidly. I saw you up inside the top 15. It seemed like quite a bit. I mean, even at Daytona too, you're up inside the top 10. You've been doing a lot of practice, what Rain told me, and I don't know if he's holding a gun to your head, forcing you to do so, but
No,
it
no.
seems like it's been paying off, man.
Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. I kind of wish that this update wouldn't happen, but you know, we're dealing with what we got. You know, the whole playing field kind of has it like that. I was able to squeeze some practice in before the race as well. I ran a bunch of officials in Atlanta. It's a little bit squirrelier than I like it. You know, I had like I think a peak position of like 12th or something like that, but I'm not running as well as I want. But we got a lot of work to do from here still. We got 13 laps, so we'll see what it is.
Well, either way, man, I think we're all impressed with you. We're all proud of you. And you got your team owner right here. You want to say anything to him?
Sorry for not doing better.
Well, just do me a favor here. Like we always said, every position counts. So keep yourself, you know, keep your head up. Work around here. You're only looks like. Are you even a lap down at this point? Nope.
Oh, yeah,
you're on the lead
absolutely.
lap. Or no, you
Oh,
are.
I am? Oh yeah.
I
Sweet.
can't tell.
Okay. You know, there's a bunch of lap cars behind me, but this is what, the 4th or 5th caution, so we'll see what it is.
Looks like you are one lap down, but you are on the same lap as Jay Bass, Nick Seraph, and Ed Sal, so there's a lot of position to be made up here, and eventually, with the way things are going, maybe catch yourself a lucky dog and get around. So, I mean, keep chin up and just try to keep it off the wall, and, you know, try to keep your lines real smooth there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, man. I mean, good luck the rest of the night. You're still impressing us. I'm still proud of you. Thank you, Charles.
All right, bye.
You know what? We were talking about him earlier. Let's get Nick in here.
Absolutely. I haven't heard from Nick Seraph yet.
Well, Nick, you got us up here? No?
Paging Nick Seraph. Where you at, my man?
I got you guys.
There we go.
Yeah!
Well, we got your family watching. We've been giving them some shout outs saying thank you for giving us Nick here. He has been a great person and a great addition to this league. But here he is, Nick the Sheriff Seraph. You got anything to say?
A little annoyed. Should be running better than I am, but you know, it happens. Just gonna try and make the best of it. Hoping for one more caution so I can get back on that. Try and shake it.
Well, Nick, I mean, you got your team owner, aka me, but I'm still happy for you. You were running pretty well. I was watching you. I always watch you. I always got that eye over you, especially all my boys on the in the team here. But I mean, just keep after it, man. It looks like you're the first dog in position for a lucky dog. You get that one caution, like you said, you'll be right back up there, man. I do believe in you.
I'm gonna try, boss.
Yes, sir. That's what I like to hear. Well, good luck. Go choose, and I think you'll be better than you think.
All right, as we look here, those front two looks familiar. Logan Monteith, Connor Morse. I mean, these are two guys that, you know, we should be expecting we're going to be exchanging pretty regularly throughout the night at this point with the way they've been running. I mean, it was no surprise we come to the green flag here. Logan Monteith with an impressive shooting start there.
And with only 10 laps to go, this is where the high line comes
right
in.
Up behind Connor Morse. Oh,
I don't think he's very happy with them. I don't think he's very happy with that drop that Connor did. But it's going to be very, very interesting now to see what lines they take, because with only 10 laps to go, high lane could suffice.
Yes, indeed. And Connor already going for that pass. He is driving it in real hard. I mean, this is a situation, you know, you appreciate the racing spirit, but I mean, of course, you know, the one situation where it appeared to be netcode that ended up sending Damian Marquez to the Shadow Realm for the rest of the race. But, you know, the incident involving Austin Holbrook, I mean, that's definitely a demerit against the way he's been running for the last bit of this race. I mean, it's 9 to go, but he has a really good closing gap on Logan Monteith here. And the one thing you don't want to do, and I'm sure Michael Gudger can attest to this, you don't want to turn Logan Monteith within the last few laps of a race.
Definitely not, but the 5 is loose, and he has a great save. What a save by Robert Probst, man.
He gets
wow, that was incredible.
Manages to slide behind the 50 perfectly. Man, a couple of guys getting a little squirrely back there. You always get a little worried about what's gonna happen.
Connor diving into the bottom of the track, 99 pinching him, getting that really, really big arc into the corner. Maybe burn off a little more right front than he wants. But that 99 car just knows how to play really, really good defense, especially against somebody like Connor who is super aggressive.
And Brady
Logan,
Powers,
with how patient he
the
is.
55 going to pass the 56. And the 56 closing the door on him says, no, sir.
Wow, this is a great battle for the lead right here. Connor sniffing it. He's going to take that high lane. This high lane's been working for him. That's how he passed Logan the first time, but I don't think Logan's going to make it as easy as he did the first time.
Oh! Oh, the
Whoa!
55 got so close right on his bumper, but really good control across both cars because I mean, especially if these cars are any looser, anybody getting that close to you in the back of your car, that's not just the car behind you needing control, that's you too.
Oh, the 56 into the wall!
Gets a little
Connor
taste
into the
of it.
wall, the 55 slides up, but that's going to be open sailing for Logan now. Logan loves
And
to see it, but here
Jacob
comes
Bradley,
50.
and the 56 is just
Yeah.
trailing the wall, keeping it up there, letting the 55 by at this point. He has no choice. Dustin Bally going to probably look to close that gap as well and go ahead and get past him. I mean, what an impressive move. We cannot say enough how incredible these Mach 1 racing guys have been. I mean, they came in truly out of nowhere, joined like the week prior to the opening race, and just started showing us what they were capable of. I mean, you want to talk about, we're putting a huge focus on team points and what the team championship is going to look like this season. And as much as we have so many 4-car teams running around here, it's the 2-car team that seems to have the best link up so far. They really do run really close to each other. They're really right there to support one another and get someone else to the front. I mean, in a situation where it might be, Jacob Bradley looking to pass Logan Monteith at the end. Oh no, Austin Holbrook and Tanner Prater.
No! This is not what Logan wanted to see. This is not what a lot of people wanted to see. This is heartbreak for Logan if it comes down to it, man. If he loses this race because of that, I'm going to feel so bummed for him. I mean, this is a very, very, very big replication of Phoenix last season.
See what
I mean,
happened
think
here.
about it.
Tanner Prater.
Caution with only a few to go.
Tanner Prater looks like, it's hard to say, but it looks like he got a little too close to Brian Brobst, and he realized it, and he went to back off, and unfortunately that just did not give the time. It looks like he got a little bit of a tap. It shook him instead of Brian Brobst, and that just made Austin Holbrook end up getting right into the back of him. Thankfully, everybody else managing to get around that. I mean, we've said it once already. Austin Holbrook, just a magnet for misfortune for no reason, being one of probably the best drivers, just hands down drivers. I mean, I imagine if cars could, just kind of bounce off of each other, he'd still be in the top 5 right now.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I can't say anything bad about Austin. He's just always impressed me, other than the fact that his luck is just not very good, unfortunately. But, man, just a heartbreak for a lot of people tonight, man. Except for Logan right now, who's still sounding confident. He just talked over the radio, and he sounded pretty confident, like no shaky voice or anything, no nerves. I feel like he's Oh, Nick Seraph, our boy!
That lead lap he wanted.
I told him to believe in himself, and he's got it. Well, you want to bring Logan in here and
I think we
talk
bring
to the leader?
I mean, do we talk to Logan Monteith here, or do we talk to Jacob Bradley, get them back to back?
Ooh, I'm okay with that. Let's
All right,
get
let's do
Logan up in here right now then. Hey, Logan, you got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, how you feeling, man? Coming down to a green-white checkered.
I've just wanted this thing to go green. I mean, my nerves are through the roof right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got all of our support. We know how good of a driver you are, so we believe in you, brother. We do think that you're going to end up at least in the top 3, but I think anything other than first for you is not going to suffice.
Thanks. I've not really been happy with how overly aggressive everyone's driving so early on in the race, but I mean, we'll deal with that later.
Definitely. It has been pretty aggressive all night, but we'll bring you back to your boys here, and good luck tonight, and you're going to put on a show. I know that for sure. Don't have to ask you.
Thank you.
So what do you think?
I think we see Jacob Bradley. He's fighting for a good second. He's got his teammate right on his bumper. Probably going to look up to support him. Let's see what happens here.
Let's get him in here. Oh, we got the wrong person in here.
Oh, There we go.
There we go. All right, Jacob Bradley in here. You got us?
Yeah.
Well, you started second place, it looks like. No, you started on the pole. Sorry about that. You started on the pole, and now you're looking in second. What do you got for the leader?
I mean, we were pretty fast chasing him down. I thought there was gonna be another caution. We have an extra set in the pits, but yeah, I think I'm gonna just try and push as hard as I can on the bottom here. Maybe do a slide job, see what I got.
All right, man. Well, how confident are you in winning this?
Well, no longer confident. My game just crashed.
Yeah, it did.
Uh-oh.
Falling
Oh,
down the
no.
pits. What happened? Oh no.
Oh no.
My
Is
game
it just your
crashed.
session crashed out?
The screen went black. iRacing just crashed.
Oh no, what a heartbreak.
Let's see if we can get back into the session. Oh,
Am I still
man.
on track?
No,
That is
you
unfortunate.
Started,
Well,
I started
okay.
watching your position just fall in the leaderboard and was wondering what was going on. Thought we were
how
distracting you.
unfortunate, man. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna bring you back to your guys there. Hopefully, you can get everything figured out. Sorry about that. That is just heartbreak.
Yeah, I drove all the way from the back to the front after I wrecked with Steve earlier in the race, and that just went. It's shocking.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Well, I mean, you impressed us tonight. You were running up front for a majority of the early half of the race, and obviously some misfortune happened, but you drove your way back up there. So, good luck, man. Hopefully, you can get everything figured out.
Yep, thank you guys.
Whew, that is so sad.
Did we do that? Did we do that to him?
I
Makes
was
you
thinking that when I was
mad.
talking to him, but we are not gonna say that we are liable for this. He signed
Absolutely
a contract.
not. Hey, you know what? And the good thing is, no matter what his teammates right up there with, Logan right now, he's still got an opportunity to make a pretty big move here and make a play. So, I
Definitely.
mean, Mach 1 Racing is not down and out. I mean, I'd find it pretty likely we're going to see some kind of top 5 finish for these guys at the very least. And, hopefully he can get in and at least make up some laps here so that he can, finish in a top 20 position because he definitely deserves to be higher than he's going to end up finishing right now. Does it come around to that green flag on the
100%.
green-white checkered? And Logan Monte's way out ahead. Dustin Bally falling in right behind.
Great start for both of those guys, but the 55 got caught sleeping just a little bit, it looks like.
Dustin
The 99
Bally,
on the fence, but here
99.
comes the 21.
Oh, no, Robert Probst
Oh.
set. Is it going to be? It is.
Oh, there's another
called.
caution.
Robert Probst was turned across the nose. Oh, it's really hard to tell who that was. It looked like it might have been a Racers Anonymous car.
I'm watching it right now. Connor Morse. No, it was Connor Morse.
Connor Morse.
And Tyler
Really?
DeTalent. What a save. Go to Tyler DeTalent and look at that save.
Heading over here real quick as we go ahead and take a higher look overhead. As we try to take a look. Yeah, Connor Morse just turns him. Michael Gudger eating it for no reason. Just unfortunate event of circumstance there for him.
That is super unfortunate, man.
And Robert
Especially
Probst,
for
Tyler
Robert. He was
DeTalent,
inside
yes,
the top
indeed.
5.
Managed to save it just in time.
Great save by Tyler. Well, who do you think we get into the booth now? We're getting everybody tonight.
Well, I think that calls for Robert Probst at this point. I mean, he just got turned. It looks like pretty cut and dry. I mean, I'm not sure what. It's hard to tell whether he checked up on something or he just didn't have the speed and, it wasn't expected. But, I mean, let's see what he says.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get him up in here right now. Hey, Robert, you got us?
I'm very mad about it, but I do.
Yeah, definitely understandable. What happened on your end?
The 56 didn't lift and ran through me. I don't know what else to tell y'all.
Well, I mean, obviously you were running.
And then just now, Blake he's had his eyes closed, I guess, under caution and wasn't looking where he was going and ran me over.
And just a series of
into 3
unfortunate events.
It's been a very frustrating race for everybody involved.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. I mean, it's the Hotland of things, but otherwise, you looked very solid tonight. Running inside the top 5 quite a bit.
Man.
Anything good you got to say?
Nah, I just gotta thank the people that give us a little bit of money so you guys can commentate it. I can't remember their name off the top of my head at the moment, but, you're here and you know who they are, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Big shout
Yeah.
outs to Shark RC here. Oh, Michael Gudger Getting a little bit of a tap on Connor Morse. Whoa! What is going on here?
He's not happy with the 56 because
Well, absolutely not. He just got caught up in that accident. Yeah.
yeah, like it's not that hard to lift out of the throttle and not cause a big wreck, especially on a green-white checkered. Like,
Yeah, well, we're gonna bring you back to your team there. Thank you for joining us. Sorry about that, Robert. I mean,
Sorry
you
for
already
the
know
damage, man.
I'm
You
always
guys-
pulling for you. But
I was already mad at myself because I had screwed up and got in the wall, so the car was ruined.
well, hopefully you can rally somehow, some way, man. Well, thank you for joining us at least.
Sorry, I wasn't more chipper.
Oh, it's all
quite
good.
all
We
right.
get it. We get it. You could tell the frustrations from a lot of these drivers, especially with the 56 now. It seems like he was running so good all night, and then just things kind of fell apart for him. Whether it's driver relationships.
Yeah, something is going on here. I mean, it seems. I mean, we have two separate incidences here, where the 56 has somebody turning across his front. I mean, there's definitely I imagine going to be some talk that's going to get some people sent to a hauler later on tonight.
100%.
Really, and completely understandable. I mean, Robert Brobst has every reason in the world to be completely upset with that, because not only did that turn him in that instance with Connor Morse, whether that was just, where he's going to come out and say, hey, I made a mistake, I should have lifted there, I really should have been paying better attention. That only does so much for somebody. I mean, Robert thankfully is still up here, but what happened to Michael Gudger in that incident?
Yeah, that is just so unfortunate for everybody. Looks like Michael just, oh man, I don't know. That's just, I'm going back to look at it right now. So Adam, it seems like over the intercom right now, trying to justify everything, saying it was just a racing incident. But going back to the lead, look who's leading. It looks like he just got a nose. It looks like he just got a nose in front of him, man. That was really, really close when the caution came out. I saw him coming off a 2, going down the back straight. Man, this is going to be crazy.
And he's got that low line, but there's one thing that Logan Monteith has that is definitely something he has up on probably the rest of the competition here, and that is phenomenal speed off of restarts. He is always geared and ready to go. So if he gets the right line, he can be shooting down, taking his line back from Dustin Bali, no problem. And as we see the 55 and 56 getting up real close, Robert Brobst, I imagine, wants to avenge something here and just get, himself around that 56 car for vintage racing at this point as we go. And the 21 takes the lead, immediately throws a block on the 99. Cannot blame him for that.
Good start.
We've said it before, we'll say it again. What you don't want to see is that 99 car coming for a pass on you out of your relative in the last few laps, because if you do, it's going to be really hard to catch him. And he's already going to the outside. He wants that in that inside, rather. He's going for that low line. There's blocks being thrown in the back as well for the fight for 7th, but we got to stay up here. There is a dog fight here with 4 cars, all fighting for the top 3 positions at this point.
Wow, what a battle. We're coming to the white flag. Dustin Bali has the lead. He's trying to block 2 cars right now. The 99 on the inside lane, seeing if he can get a good run at the bottom.
Amazing run here up on the top. I mean, he's
Oh,
definitely
no,
Connor Morse.
Throws a horrible block.
Oh, Connor Morse ends up in a bad situation there. Blake Hoppy, but Connor's falling back through the pack. But this race is finalized here. We've got the white flag. It is not going to go any further than this point. No, Logan! Logan got loose! Logan just got a little too loose. He tried to send it. He's going to go in across the road. And Dustin Bali! Dustin Bali takes the checkered flag!
Wow, what an incredible job for Dustin. Wow.
Coming back from out of nowhere, avenging what happened to him just this past Thursday at Daytona at the Round Here Entertainment 150, where he was bound to be set to be a contender for that win. In a situation, he held Logan Monteith off just enough that Logan felt he had to throw it everything he had, and it sent him spinning, and Logan drops 2 positions because of it. I just mind-blown by that ending, and you love the competition. I mean, Logan felt like he had to do something there, and you love to see a guy going for it at that point. What a huge, huge opportunity, and what a huge win as Dustin celebrates here, winning the Shark RC 125 at Atlanta, the 2nd race of the ARCA season.
What an incredible job. Dustin he manned up and he wheeled it. I'm speechless, man. He held on against Brady and he held on against Logan. Both of them were on his back bumper, side by side too. And
There's Steve. There it is.
Oh, wow.
You got to imagine Steve is a little upset. He loves running up there. You know, Dustin and him, they have a very friendly rivalry. They're good friends and they're very competitive with one another. And Steve, you can imagine, would have been running up there, probably contending with him the entire time. Gave him a nice little love tap right to the front. You can imagine that was a very frustrated good job.
Definitely. I mean, at the same time, though, you got to be happy for your buddy. I'm always happy, like when, say, like Logan or Jackson wins. But at the same time, it always stings. It always stings knowing that you probably could have been up there doing the same thing. But otherwise, man, what?
I know. I'm
great.
unbelievable. We got to take a look at the results here before we start bringing people in. And just like that, we're looking at qualifying results. But what we want to look at are the race results, because that's what matters here. Dustin Bally for Off the Wall Racing taking home the win, followed by Brady Powers for Mach 1 Racing and Blake Hoppy for Evil Empire Motorsports, followed very closely by Robert Brobst. He's got to be happy. He finished ahead of Connor Morse there, so we're probably going to have to talk to him a little bit about that. I can imagine he's going to be a little colorful about it. Logan Monteith ended up falling back to 5th, but a very respectable 5th at that. I mean, it's not like he's lost a lot by dropping back to 5th at this point. Sean Johnson, Jackson Samsel, what a phenomenal drive by Jackson Samsel to keep him in that top 10. You know, he got caught up in a situation from the wreck last week, and he was the only guy from Backmarkers Racing that managed to hold his way to get into 9th. You know, everybody got caught up in it. And yeah, to be in the situations where he was involved in a couple of instances already this race, and he got himself all the way up to 7th. Just phenomenal work.
Yeah, both of them. I'm so proud of my team right now. I mean, those two guys,
You got
all
three
of
guys
them,
up here.
did great. Yeah,
Peter
I got
Stewart
3
as
guys
well,
up in here.
Nick Seraph and Michael Gudger, and that rounds out the top 10. What a phenomenal finish here. I mean, this is definitely going to be talked about pretty heavily by everybody involved, I imagine, due to the situations, you know, that ended up sending it. But it looks like, you know, we had some instances where, you know, we had guys quite a few laps down. It looks like Carter Dyson ended up, you know, getting the worst of it, 37 laps down, just after Nathan Gentry with 36, which, you know, those guys, they got caught up in a couple of accidents, just kept sending them back, and Adam Boyles as well. Just really, really uncalled for, you know, for guys like that to be as far back as they are. Austin Holbrook as well. Steve Loving, of course, the talk of this race. Just, you know, his race was done pretty early, and that's got to be heartbreaking to drive the rest of those laps knowing you're just going to continue to be back there and really not going to have a lot of chances to make up the ground. But let's go ahead and take this opportunity to talk to some of our guys here. I think we need to talk to Steve Loving first off here and get his opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. It looks like he is live streaming right now, so we'll leave him for a little bit.
Sure, we'll shoot
But
a
how about
DM here.
we get I think he hopped off already, if I see it correctly. That's unfortunate. I was gonna try and get Mr. Sean in here after a solid run, but
Mr.
with that,
Moonpie.
let's start our podium interviews here. Let's go bring in Blake if he's still in here.
Yeah, Blake Hoppy, let's get him in here.
All right, Blake, you got us?
I got you. You got me?
Yes, sir, we got you. So, P3 tonight, I mean, very, very great show. You put on a great show tonight. You were always up there. I don't think you qualified Oh, no, you qualified 4th. That's right. You had a great night all night. I think you got involved in one of the wrecks. Am I correct?
Yes, I got caught up on that first crash.
Well, I mean, you drove back from that and ended up in P3, first podium, and I gave you a lot of hype coming into this season and throughout the chat, and I think throughout some broadcasting stuff. But you're really living up to it, man. You ran well at Daytona. You ran well here. Got to be some good momentum. You got to say anything about that?
One position higher.
Yeah, I mean, felt like I had a decent car here. Just got caught up on that crash, and just fought myself back up there to the front. Feel like there was a lot of driving over their heads tonight. A lot of people were, and gave it my best shot there on the last couple laps. Just came up short.
Well, man, I mean, podium stuff, nothing to scoff at here, especially with this level of talent that we have. So you did really, really well tonight. I think everybody in Evil Empire Motorsports is proud of you, and I feel like you're going to be up here quite a bit in this podium interview, man. That was very, very good drive tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Just want to thank Logan and M99 GRAFX. You guys up in the booth are doing great, and keep it up.
Yeah, thank you, man. We appreciate that. And we appreciate you joining us, and we appreciate you putting on a show, man. Before I go, actually, let's talk about the 56 car.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there in the last lap. He said something about throwing a slider, but I definitely had the top on him. And then I feel like if I get that run off the corner, I'm battling those guys to win coming on the backstretch. So I don't know what kind of. He wasn't gonna make the corner either way, so I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, that is just unfortunate, man. But I mean, either way, third place, nothing to scoff at. So good job tonight, man. We're gonna bring you back to your team, and let's go get in second place.
Absolutely, Brady Powers taking it home for Jacob Bradley there, who unfortunately, I mean, even for dropping out, still finished a respectable 18th with only 3 laps down. So
that's not too bad, man. That is actually pretty impressive.
For rebooting your sim, absolutely.
Let's get Brady up in here. Hey, Brady, nice to talk to you again. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, P2 tonight, you're battling for that lead. Almost had it. What more did you need?
I scared me there at the end whenever I think it was Logan on the inside got a little loose and spun himself out. It scared me a little bit. I had to check up a little bit, but I maybe needed one more lap.
Yeah, man. I mean, you put on a show tonight. You were up in the lead quite a bit. You were passing people. You were ripping that top. Great job tonight. That's all we could say, really, is you qualified P2. Or, sorry, you qualified P15. Sorry, I get those two confused when I'm looking at iRacing, but you qualified P15 and drove your way back up to second, man. And, I mean, you led quite a few laps as well. What do you got to say about your performance overall tonight?
I'm pretty proud. I only practiced for, I want to say 3 minutes. And so I'm just used to the ARCA cars now. Gotten really good with them. And I mean, I just struggled in qualifying, and then I was just like, well, it looks like it's time to shine in the race. So,
well, man, very, very impressive tonight. Is there anybody that you want to thank?
Thanks to Jacob, because he just helped me out there. He's telling me what to do, helping me out. Thanks to my dad. He's watching right now. Appreciate him. That's about it.
All right. Shout out to Brady's dad. Hope your boy put on a good show tonight for you. Good enough, maybe. But you know what? We're gonna see if he can, progress that position one more spot. See if he can get there next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, man. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, man.
Well, let's bring him in. Let's bring in the winner, Mr. Dustin Bali. First career win. And come on. There we go. Dustin, up in the booth, you got us.
I do. I'm actually happy that
go.
Yeah. Woo!
Man, what a win, dude. You held on against 2 of probably the best drivers in the series right now. I mean, Logan is no one to slouch on. You know that for sure. Brady, he's very, very solid too. You held him back, both of them. I mean, they were both literally on your bumper, side by side on your bumper, and you held them both back. What do you guys say, man?
Yeah, well, first I want to give a shout out to Brady there on that last lap, because I think without that last kind of bump past Logan, that win's not happening. So he gets he'll get the trophy, I guess, sent to him for that. But I tell you what, after qualifying, I was not feeling confident. We the session started a little bit early this week, and I had kind of banked on getting a couple more minutes of practice, and so when I qualified, I qualified kind of mid-pack, and I was expecting to be up toward the front, so I wasn't feeling too good. And then the race kind of came to me. The big moment of the race was when Steve and the 50 got together. I think that was like lap 10 or something like that. And I said, okay, well, if they're put back, that's gonna open up 2 slots up there at the front to start battling. And so it seemed like the short runs, the car just did not do what I wanted it to do, and I was afraid to be aggressive where there was a lot of guys being more aggressive around me. I think in the middle of the race there, my teammate Austin put in a fantastic performance, I think, and he was leading for a while till that caution came out. And for a lot of the day, it felt like I was the third fastest off the wall racing car. I mean, Austin just killed it in that middle portion of the race, and Jay was kind of on my butt at the beginning of the race and kind of towards the middle. So to end up here is kind of unbelievable. With the bad qualifying, and then we had not the best restart. There was the one where I got to choose. I think I was the leader and I chose high, and Logan just absolutely destroyed me. So I made sure not to make that mistake again. But the race felt a lot like Daytona. There was a lot of side by side, a lot of pushing. It was certainly way more intense than I was anticipating. So I hope that was kind of what you guys felt up there. But yeah, finally a win for off the wall racing. I'm thrilled for the team and Rain, and then big thanks to Shark RC, M99 GRAFX, and you guys for putting on the show, Extreme Sim TV.
Hey, you guys put on the show. You guys were the ones battling. We were just talking.
You guys hype up the intensity, and I want to give a special shout out to my boss Jason, who suggested that I put Bob Schneider on the car. So Bob Schneider was with me, and Bob Schneider propelled me to the win today. So we'll.
That's pretty cool. Well, I mean, you should show this to your boss, and maybe you can come in late tomorrow.
I will. Yeah, I plan on leaving early tomorrow. Sorry, I have to celebrate with the team. We have a banquet later.
Well, one thing before we get too far away, I don't want to leave because there's one really important thing we need to touch on, and that is, as you said, Steve Loving. I mean, a little bit bittersweet. You guys have that rivalry, but you're also friends, and to see him kind of have his race ended pretty early, and then for you to end up going on to win it. I mean, I'm sure you imagine he probably would have been up there battling you at the end, had everything not ended up turning out the way it did.
Absolutely. I mean, he was fast all week. I mean, we had done a couple of practice sessions earlier in the week, and he kind of was the benchmark. And so I was really playing catch up. I mean, we did the practice earlier before the race, and he had a 1/10 of a second up on the rest of the field. So I really expected him to just run away with it. I think he's the the tire whisperer, right? So I think he was probably taking it easy those first couple of laps, and other people were maybe being more aggressive. So I think, had he not been tapped, his strategy probably would have paid off, and he would have run away with this thing. But that's, I know as from last week, anything can happen, right? So I have no doubt that he'll be up there in the next ones, and I fully expect him to bounce back quickly.
Absolutely. And let's real quick also get your opinion. The current talk right now, the 56 car Connor Morse. How do you feel about some of the situations that unfolded over the race?
So I didn't see a lot of Connor in my mirrors. I saw a lot of him in front of me, and from my vantage point, to be honest, he drove a great race. I was gonna hop on and tell him how well he was doing, but I mean, for most of the race, I feel like it was between him and Logan and me, and he never gave me any issues. I mean, I finished the race with 0x and didn't tap anybody. So from my vantage point, I didn't see any issues. I mean, there were several times there where I saw lots of smoke and lots of spinning behind me, and was just very thankful that I was not part of it.
Absolutely.
Well, man, all we can say though is what a job. You impressed us so much these last 2 weeks, and we can't say anything bad about you, dude. That was awesome. I think we're all just so impressed and so happy for you too. And I mean, you got the bragging rights now, man. You got one win over Steve.
I know. Yeah, I'll be rubbing that in his face. I might sign a picture of myself and drop it off at his front door this weekend. So he'll be seeing way too much of me. But yeah, no, I mean, I think kind of based on last week and this week, there are some favorites starting to emerge. The 55. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's I don't know if he's the points leader now because of the way that the wins are, but I believe he finished second last week, right? So
he finished third last week.
Third, okay. So 2 podiums. I mean, he's going to be strong. Blake was up there. Robert kind of, out of the race kind of wasn't there, and then really snuck in, and then obviously Logan, I think, is still the favorite. So any positions we can take off of him will be good. So I'm looking forward to it. 12th place points finish last week. We have a long way to go. So we're going to keep punching up and then get going, and I'm really thrilled or really excited to see what Jay and Austin are going to do. There were times of the race when I couldn't believe how well off the wall racing was doing. So I'm really excited about the weeks ahead. Let's just say that.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations
Well, man.
once again. Huge win.
Yep. Thank you, Rain, for everything, and we'll keep this momentum and go forward.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Damn. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for putting on the show tonight, dude. That was so incredible, and I'm pretty happy for you, dude.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler.
All right. Well, what do you say? What do you think about that race, man?
I mean, frankly, I could ask what's not to like, but I think a lot of drivers might get a little angry at me. It was definitely a spectacle for a viewer standpoint. You know, more cautions than Daytona, but thankfully less cautions than Nashville Fairgrounds. So, I mean, I see this as a little bit of a win in that department, but no, in all seriousness, there's just, I mean, we had 15 cars on the lead lap, and it's just unfortunate that that's the way that shook out, considering we had so many cars, so many drivers that were absolutely showing up for this race really early on. I mean, we can't say this enough. Austin Holbrook really catching the worst end of this stick, probably. Steve Loving, he definitely ended up in a bad position, but he got taken out kind of early in that department. Austin had the taste of that, being in that lead for a good little while, and was really fighting it, and to just have it completely lost, completely, ends up being thrown away from him. That's just not something you want to end up, seeing from somebody like him. So it's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it was definitely a kind of a typical Atlanta race. A lot of tempers flaring. I mean, they call it Hot Atlanta, and
Absolutely.
yeah, tempers get pretty hot. And speaking of tempers, man, we just brought in Tyler to Talent.
Tyler to
Well,
Talent, there he is.
What do you got to say, brother?
Well, I have a lot to say, but a little bit I'm gonna keep to myself.
Well, for the PG version, because there are definitely some parents watching tonight. What do you got to say?
Oh man, it was a crazy race. I definitely let a lot go because I saw some guys obviously getting loose, snapping out of the corners and whatnot, and just a lot of overly aggressive driving for not a whole lot of good reason. Like for 10th and 12th place, like you're not getting a bonus. What are you going crazy for? I don't know. I tried to just maintain, and maintaining got me killed by killed in turn 3. Meme that.
Well, I mean, otherwise, you impressed us tonight. You were inside the top 10 quite a bit. You did what you wanted to do, and good job otherwise, man. I mean, unfortunately, the finish didn't add up to where you wanted it to be, but good job otherwise.
On a bright side note, at the very least, from what our results, they are a bit unofficial, but from the results I have here, you placed 15th, and you finished on the lead lap, and you were the last car to do so. So I mean, you missed a cutoff that could have been a lot more unfortunate for you, but you still ended up recovering and getting a very respectable finish for yourself.
Oh yeah, I definitely wanted to limp it home and definitely at least get across the finish line. That was the goal. Just definitely just makes me more hungry for the weeks to come, and hopefully get back up there.
Yeah, man. Well, winning this here tonight, unfortunately, didn't end up the way you wanted it to, but you got something to look forward to, man. You were up there quite a bit. So, what are you looking forward to next week here at North Wilkesboro?
I definitely love the short track racing. I don't know how much bumping and banging you can really get away in these cars, but by God, we're gonna try, and we're gonna put on a hell of a show.
I like it, man. Well, thank you again for joining, brother.
No problem, anytime.
Well, obviously there's some disappointment out there, and like I said, it's just Atlanta. I feel like it's like a big Bristol, with the tempers that flare. But otherwise, somewhat typical race. It was a lot of tire wear, a lot of comers and goers too. That was pretty big.
Absolutely, that top 5 was rotating to the point that I mean, we'll have to go back and check here. but I'm pretty sure this top 5, if you look back around lap 10, lap 20, this top 5 was not the top 5 that was there at that time. You know, they were probably just a little outside of it for a few of them, but it shifted so much, and this field ended up moving up so much. But again, I mean, a lot of that boils down to situations with wrecks, and I mean, like you said, tempers flaring. A lot of people going a little extra hard here at Atlanta. People, especially overdriving a little bit because of the new setups on the cars and not quite being, you know, I don't want to create many excuses for guys that are, pretty competent drivers, but I think it's safe to say that pretty much everybody here ended up feeling, pretty underwhelmed, a little unhappy with the last minute uh the last minute change log they saw in the update they had to install today that said changed the ARCA setups.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much adversity going into this, and obviously the best are going to rise up to the front. And obviously we didn't have all of them up there, such as Steve Loving, but otherwise I feel like the best guys showed up tonight, and Dustin Bali reigned supreme.
Absolutely. And of course, this is only a taste of what we're getting to look at because, like you just talked to Tyler DeTalon about next week. If you thought this was exciting, whoo boy, short track racing in the ARCA cars just before our winter break, our holiday Christmas break that we're going to have for 2 weeks following the race. But next Thursday, the 15th of December, we're going to have the 60 feet 6 foundation 160. A lot of 60s in there. Love that. At North Wilkesboro Speedway. Some short track racing. Plenty of excitement. Plenty to go around. And man, if we have an almost 30 car field again, I mean, I can only imagine what we're going to end up seeing. And of course, I know a couple of people, I believe, had said in chat that they ended up, missing out on getting to run the race tonight just because they're the kind of people that end up having to join the session about a minute or two before the practice session ends to get in, or they join during qualifying in order to actually run it. And because of the advancement of the session a little earlier than people were expecting, by just a mishap on our part here, we ended up having a couple of cars that didn't end up getting to come across that start finish line. But maybe that was for the best. All said and done.
Yeah.
But once again, make sure to join us next week at North Wilkesboro for the 60 feet 6 foundation 160. And again, big thanks as always to our sponsors. M99 GRAFX, our series sponsor, Extreme Sim TV, our broadcast partner, Matthew over there, and of course Shark RC Bodies. And once again, Shark RC Bodies is where you can find all your RC body needs for off-road buggies and short course trucks. Do you need parts? Do you need the stuff you're looking to put your cars together? I mean, they got bodies ranging from drag racing bodies, street stocks, late models, and more. So if you need it, you need to head on over to sharkrcbodies.com and go ahead and give them some business because we definitely appreciate the support they've shown us here.
Yeah, definitely. So big thanks to Shark RC. We keep in contact with them in real life when I race my RC cars, and they've been such a big help. And obviously now they're doing esports stuff with us. So big thanks to them. They're gonna be a lifetime sponsor here at Backmarkers Racing, and we're gonna treat them as such.
Absolutely.
And then before we go as well, thank you to M99 GRAFX. Logan, he has been a workaholic recently with all these paint schemes that he has been putting out. Unfortunately, not going to get to see all of them tonight just due to the fact of trading paints kind of having its little issue. But otherwise, I was looking at the cars. They were all very pretty. So just take my word for it. But yeah, thank you to Logan.
All of you drivers, I tried very hard to refresh your cars multiple times before this thing started. Trading paints did not cooperate whatsoever, but we'll make sure we see what we can do to have that fixed and get the caches all, deleted so that we can make sure all your amazing schemes end up getting shown.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Hopefully we get a nice little turnout, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed the race. It was something, man. That is all I can say. It was something.
Absolutely. And once again, big congratulations to our winner, Dustin Bali, taking one home for Off the Wall Racing already in the second start of this season. As we close out here at the Shark RC 125, this again is Rain Braun with broadcast partner Tyler Barnett. And we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll be seeing you guys next week on Thursday.